Hello everybody, it's Dylan from Anime and welcome to another Boku no Hero Academia review. This time I will be reviewing episode 22 of My Hero Academia, and I cannot wait to talk to you guys about this episode in the comments below, so definitely leave your thoughts down there. And what did I think of the episode? I thought it was an incredible episode. It was not only great for Uraraka's character, it was a great episode for Kacchan's character. We got some savage lines from Midoriya, and it built up the Midoriya-Todoroki fight really well in the second half of the episode. It was just another really enjoyable episode. So the big part of the episode obviously was the match between Uraraka and Kacchan and Bakugo, and I was really hoping that she was going to be able to pull it out. I didn't really think it was feasible, but I was just hoping she put up a good fight, and she absolutely did. She put up an amazing fight, and a lot of people had commented on my last video that said, and by the way, the people that have read the manga have been very respectful for the first two reviews, not telling me really anything that's going to happen, just telling me kind of like basic things, so I really do appreciate that, and if you want to keep doing that, by all means do it, because it just hypes up the episode for me. So a lot of people commented that this was one of the best matches regarded from the manga in this tournament, or in the first round maybe, and that this was going to be a really, really good episode, and they were absolutely right. So the people that have read the manga built it up really well for me in the comments of the last episode. And the match starts, and Uraraka and Deku and Ida are all kind of talking. Not really Uraraka's not talking with them, but Deku and Ida are talking about what she needs to do to win, and she needs to get Kacchan off the air, which is her quirk. Her quirk is zero gravity, where she can just touch someone or touch an object, and it floats. So she immediately goes in for Kacchan, but obviously it's not going to be that easy. And he just nails her with a big right hand, and she knew it was coming, and Midoriya knew it was coming, but, you know, knowing something's coming and being able to dodge it, two completely different things. So his attack lands, and she goes back a little bit, and for the first about 3-4 minutes of this fight, it was actually tough to watch, because she keeps going in with, you know, she was running low to the ground, which is, there's a reason for that, and we'll get to that in a second. She keeps running low to the ground, and everyone's watching, just Bakugo continually just beat her up with these mega rights and mega lefts and these brutal fire attacks, and the people in the crowd are starting to get a little bit, like, annoyed with Bakugo, and they're like, you call yourself a hero? You know, just push her out of bounds, end the match, what are you doing? And it's Eraserhead, and Eraserhead is the man. I just love him, because I'm agreeing with the audience for the most part until Eraserhead makes this point, and it's a point that, you know, in hindsight is an amazing point. He's just like, you know, if you're here and you don't like what's going on, just leave, because you have no right to call yourself a hero. You have no right to, you know, change people's careers or hire people. Bakugo is taking an opponent that's made it this far in the tournament seriously, so he's staying on the defensive as she continues to run in for attacks, and we learn that that's not Eraserhead blindly defending Kacchan. That's the truth, because Kacchan later in the stands makes a comment that's like, what part of her was frail, when everyone else was kind of like, oh, I would never attack a frail girl, but he was not taking her lightly, and I gained a lot of respect for Bakugo for actually taking her seriously and actually taking her like a Final 16 competitor, and she proved why she belonged in the Final 16. So I gained a lot of respect for Bakugo's character. Eraserhead, he was someone who I was kind of hesitant on in the beginning, but someone who I have immense amount of respect for, especially the fact that he saved Asu's life, and I think, like, episode 11, that's one of my favorite scenes, when the big bird guy has him, like, in the ground, and he uses the eraser quirk with like a bloodied eye to somehow stop that hand guy from killing Asu, and that was a great scene, and ever since then I've just had immense respect for Eraserhead. So the match goes on, and Uraraka, and Eraserhead noticed this too, that's why he made the comment, as Bakugo kept destroying the ground, and there were other people in the audience who saw it coming too. I think the one guy who could steal quirks from Class B, who went after Kacchan in the cavalry round, ended up losing, saw it coming too, because he comments like, what an idiot, and I think that comment was about Kacchan, because obviously he doesn't like the guy, so I don't think he would call Uraraka an idiot for continuing her attacks. I think he just saw all the rocks that were coming up, so every time Bakugo was attacking the ground, he would break off a piece of the ground, and rocks would fall, and debris would fall, and Uraraka rose all of the rocks above the stadium and just let it go. She was keeping them up there with her quirk, let the debris go, and the debris was falling down, and she goes in for an attack, and not really an attack, but just to make Kacchan float, and Kacchan goes for a blast, and he destroys all the debris. He even is able to push her back, so there was really no opening, even though it looked like Uraraka at that point had turned the tables. I'm watching this, and my mind was blown. I was so excited when I saw all the rocks above him. I'm like, there's no way she's actually going to pull this off. Unfortunately, she doesn't, because soon after that, she wants to keep going. I don't think I've praised the music yet, but the music has been incredible, and I can't wait until this OST comes out for Season 2, because the Season 1 soundtrack was amazing. And she falls, she collapses, she's like, my body won't do what my mind wants me to do. She's crawling to him, the music is amazing. Bakugo, he's getting ready for another attack, but he's not going to obviously launch one unless she comes really close to him. And the ref comes along, I forget her name, and she feels Uraraka, and she says she's out of commission. Bakugo wins. And it was a really, really good battle. It just showed you how much willpower Uraraka had, and at the same time, it showed you kind of how much respect Kacchan had for his opponent, which is something that I wouldn't have really pictured, because he always says, like, oh, I'm gonna kill you, or it's your deathbed, or die, scum, things like that, things that make you think he really is in this for just the pure thrill of it, and not really becoming number one. But that's really not what he's all about. He's really, well, maybe it's what he's a little bit about, but he does still show signs of respect for Uraraka in this match, and I really did like that. So she gets carted off, she goes to the recovery room, and Midoriya is on his way to prepare for his match against Todoroki, which is going to be an incredible match, hopefully. He runs into Kacchan in the hall, and Kacchan's like, you gave her that advice, didn't you? And Midoriya's like, no, I didn't. The reason you're probably so annoyed is because she basically played you for a fool the entire match. And it's like Midoriya has gotten more and more savage, because he has another savage line for Endeavor when he runs into him at the end of this episode. And I just feel like the chill level has just continually, gradually declined for Midoriya, and he just continues to make these, like, comments that make me go, damn, like, this kid is just awesome. I mean, just an absolute savage. And so he visits Uraraka in the nursery room, and she's recovered, and she's very positive, but she's kind of putting on a facade, because, they go back and forth a little bit, and then she has a call from her dad, she ignores it, she wishes Midoriya the best in his match, he leaves, and Uraraka then answers the call, and kind of breaks down on the phone with her dad, which is a really sad scene, but you kind of understand it from her perspective, that she's doing this for the person she's talking to on the phone with, and she probably feels that she's failed him. Her main motivation is to get money for her family, so she's doing it for herself, sure, but her family also plays a massive part in her motivations, and the fact that she feels she failed her father and her mother, and that's who she's talking to on the phone, who clearly she has a very close relationship with. She breaks down. Her dad's like, you were amazing. There's no need to be harsh on yourself, and he's absolutely right. And it cuts to Midoriya, and he's walking away from the room, and Midoriya, I think, kind of knows that she was putting on a facade. Well, he definitely does know by the comments he makes. And I don't know, because I know this is behind a little bit, and we haven't really seen, I mean, we've seen kind of like the comedy romance with, like, that really short kid, and, I don't even want to call that romance, but just, like, the flirty jokes and stuff, and that short kid is really funny. But I don't know if romance has been hinted at farther down the line in My Hero Academia between Uraraka and Midoriya, because there were definitely hints of it, I thought, in this episode. And I'm not someone who, ships freely. I only really ship characters if I feel that there's a justifiable reason. And I feel like these two, kind of, there's a little bit of romantic tension between them. That's just the vibe I got. I don't know if the manga has done anything with that. If it has, and it's not going to be major spoilers, you can let me know down below for those of you that are caught up. But yeah, I just kind of got that vibe, and it was the first time, I mean, sure, they've kind of made jokes about it before in a more comedic way, but this was the first time I thought there was a serious tone involved with a possible romantic outreach with Midoriya and Uraraka, so I thought that was interesting. And as Midoriya is walking away and thinking about how Uraraka somehow was able to stay positive after it, and he's just, like, stunned by it, it looks like, actually, no, he does start crying about it, and he runs into Endeavor, and Endeavor is just like, my son is going to surpass All Might. The line that Deku says, I'm not All Might, and your son's not you. And he just walks away, and he remembers what Todoroki said, how he's not going to use his father's side. So he knows Todoroki, is refusing to use his dad's side, and he knows Endeavor probably knows that, and so he knows that comment's probably going to sting. And again, Deku just has no chill, and the savagery just increases with every episode, and I absolutely love it. So the match is about to begin between Deku and Todoroki. It should be a really, really amazing matchup. I think Deku is going to win, But I wouldn't be shocked. Well, I'd be kind of surprised if Todoroki pulled it out. I feel like Deku versus Kacchan kind of has to be the final. But at the same time, Todoroki versus Kacchan could be the final. That would be a really cool final. I think the winner of this match plays the winner of Ida versus the green-haired girl, if I remember the tournament bracket and the matches we saw correctly. I might be wrong about that, though. No, I think the Mina match was after. So I think Mina versus the Falcon, Tokoyami, and the Steel guy, the red hair, the Class A Steel guy who won the arm wrestling match, I forgot about that, versus Kacchan, and that could be a really interesting matchup. So, yeah, I could see Ida versus Todoroki more than I could see Ida versus Midoriya if Ida beats the green-haired girl that took out the electric guy. So, I don't know. I could see Todoroki pulling it out, but it's going to be a very interesting match, guys. Please let me know all your thoughts down below of My Hero Academia, Episode 22, Season 2, Episode 9. I really liked it. Thought it was great for Uraraka's character. I thought it was good for Bakugo's character as well. And, you know, are there maybe some romantic feelings brewing, some serious romantic feelings brewing between Midoriya and Uraraka? Let me know all your thoughts down below. I hope you all have an amazing day. I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you for watching.